Good afternoon, friends. How's everybody doing? Okay. All right, let's just hope that the snow doesn't ruin all of the internet today. Because holy moly, I don't think it snowed this much all winter. It's crazy. Last week it was so nice out when we were doing this party, and I was afraid that nobody was going to join, but now I'm afraid nobody's going to join because they're out making snowmen. How insane is that? Is it that insane though? I'm not sure. So anybody who's tuning in, like I said, we are having a massive snow day here in the deep south of Essex County. And I just have to always continuously apologize for the internet quality. So sometimes it gets a little fuzzy, but it should come back into play. And anybody who's tuning in, just say hi. Let me know where you're watching from. And let's keep this party vibing. So just make sure you tell me you're here and let me know if you made a snowman. Janine, well, I've seen a few pretty creative things that you could use. Somebody used like an old wooden tray, serving tray. There's been cardboard. Cardboard's probably a really good one for this one. We have to paint the canvas black first, so that's something that needs to be done before we start here. So we have 15 minutes. If you haven't painted your canvas black yet, make sure you do that. I have mine set up right here. And that's how the party's gonna go. I'm gonna be like, blah, blah, blah. Blah, blah, blah. Paint, paint, paint. Blah, blah, blah. Hi, Zoya. I'm good. How are you? Thanks for chiming in. Hope all is well. Yeah, make sure you guys, if you're from somewhere exotic, like that's not Harrow, Ontario or Amherstburg, Ontario, make sure you tell me where you're from, because it's nice to know where people are chiming in from. Use pieces of leftover plywood. Yeah, I've had people like rip apart beer boxes and they're using the backs of beer boxes, which works actually remarkably well. Any paper, just use anything that you have. This is a really just fun, simple painting, so there's nothing to get overly complicated about it. Sweet Teresa, I'm stoked that the kids are ready to go. Hi from Dominic. Hi, Dominic. 8's a good age. Hey, Mike from Windsor. Cool. Ramey's in the house. South Windsor. Kaylee and Kenzie. Hey, guys. Stoked that you guys are here. I always like to get started a little early, so we'll just wait. I'm just going to sip on my coffee. Hey, Jessica from Wallaceburg in Aislinn. That's a sweet name. Welcome. Welcome to the studio. It's in my basement, and my internet hub's upstairs, and it's snowing. So just gonna keep apologizing for how probably horrible my internet is. But we were on the phone with the guys today, and they're gonna try and boost my husband and I both work from home on the internet constantly, so it's just one of those things. We need all of the internet that we can get. I was trying to explain that to my 3-year-old. She's like, why isn't it working? I'm like, these problems just didn't exist when I was your age, Hey, Teresa. Yay. And Tina and Sierra from Bow River. Hey, Tiff. What's up? Hey, Gracie. Yeah, cool. I'm stoked you're here. Awesome. I know. I always think about doing that painting that we did at your place. Made a kind of really fun little Rapunzel painting. That was really fun. Hi, Maggie. Glad you made it. I feel like this painting is going to be too easy for you, Maggie. But You know, it's just all about getting the juices out, and it's all about having fun. I'm really excited that, you know, we get to just have a little bit of fun together and show up together. Sweet. Brooke's painting today and has been. Sweet. That's awesome. I'm really, it makes me so happy when I'm seeing everybody's paintings. It's the best. And most of them are pretty good. I'm quite impressed with the skill level here. Excuse me. Hi, Isabella and Mateo. I'm excited too. So I just want to make sure. Oh yeah, Holly, how's it going? Yay, I'm super stoked too. Holly, I think of you all the time because I say stoked all the time, and you are the one who taught me that word. And it's my go-to. I probably say stoked like 800 to 900 times a day, something like that. So thank you. Thanks for the word stoked. I feel like that was one of those words that came up when we were in BC together, and then all of a sudden the whole world. That no worries. Before I moved out west, that was not a thing, but now it's totally a thing. Deb, that's all that matters. It doesn't matter if you don't have to be some amazing artist to enjoy painting. That's 100% true. Yes, Shannon, I am in Canada. I am in Harrow, Ontario, Canada. It's in the deep south. I'm closest to the most southern part of Canada. Very close to Point Pelee. Hey, yo, yay, Brooke. Thanks for being here, guys. Sweet. Yay, Addie's here. Addie is an incredible painter. So that's awesome. And Evan and Nora. And Dustin and Devin. That's so cool. So just remember, guys, I said that you should have your canvas painted black first. That was really hard to say. So if you don't have your canvas painted black yet, just make sure that, has anybody made a snowman today? Extra bonus points if you did. I didn't. I'm going to stay inside as much as possible. I did have to go get groceries though, and I got snowed on the top. Oh. Okay, so what just happened is that my internet connection went out, and that might happen a couple times, guys. So if for some reason things are not kind of working a little bit, the age-old remedy is unplug or shut it down and bring it back. And in that short period of time, you probably will not have missed much. So all good. Hi, Michaela and Nicholas and Trisha and Kyle and Ryan and Jack and look at all these sweet names. Welcome, welcome. Make sure you have your canvas painted black, like this. Mew. So I'll go over like the detailed logistics when we get the party started. Right now, if you guys are tuning in right now, just make sure you tell me hi and tell me where you're from. And we're just hanging out until it reaches 2 o'clock, just making sure everybody gets settled in. I do have my paints on my palette already, so if that's something you want to do now, go for it. Just remember, we're going to be painting in quarantine for a while, so just use a little bit of paint on your palettes. You don't have to go crazy and squirt big paint. You can always replenish because you guys are using your own paints anyways. So start small, and then you can always add more. All good. Hey, Nico from South Windsor. And Emily and Amy and Billy Joe and Samantha. Oh my goodness, so many people. It's awesome. Hey from Kinsley and Janelle and Alyssa and Alexia and Ariana. Awesome. And Heidi. Sweet. Faith and Logan. So excited you guys are here. Hey, Cassandra. Where in Canada are you from? It's a big old country. I'm incredibly grateful to be Canadian lately. Hi from Braden, perfect. And Boston, yes. From Stony Point, that's a good side. You are on the north side of Essex County, and I'm in the deep south of Essex County. From Alberta, nice. And Natalie from Lakeshore, lovely. That's my new term, my Peppa Pig term. Tittles the tortoise, it's lovely. I really like how she says that. The lady who owns Tittles the tortoise. I know some moms know what I'm talking about here. Peppa Pig's on massive repeat at our house lately. Okay, we got 3 minutes before we officially get started here. So anybody who's chiming in, just make sure you say hi. Hi, Carter and Nolan and Taylor Shakes. Sweet name. Hi, Nancy. And yeah, so this is what my palette looks like. I have some white and red and blue and teal and orange. And basically we're going to start with our white, and we're going to be squirting paint on our canvases. So make sure you guys are wearing something that you don't care about too much, or an apron is also good. Make sure you're protected. Hi, Jessica from Leamington. What's going on? All right, T-minus 2 minutes until we start this action. Hi, Leland and Courtney. And hi, Ellen, Sean, and Victoria, and Courtney again from Pennsylvania. Nice. The only reference to Pennsylvania I have is the movie Groundhog Day, which is one of my all-time favorite movies. And they're in Pennsylvania in that movie. Sweet, Tilsonburg. Hey, Grayson. I'm so glad you guys are showing up. That's awesome. Hi, Henry. So I'm just can apologize for like the 80th time. You know, it's a snow day here. I live in a rural setting, so we don't have cable. We don't have really great internet. And the snow, and I'm in a basement. So if I lose you, just make sure you unplug and plug back in, shut her down, come back up. You know what? You'll get the gist of it, and it's still super fun to kind of go along with it. So I'm not in HD, unfortunately. Maybe one day. Hey, Melissa, Tristan and Taylor, awesome. I am painting the rocket today, Franca Mastronardi. And Olivia and Kathy from Windsor. Awesome. I'm just going to start here. I'm going to take a sip of water. And I'm really excited everybody's here. Cool. So basically, what's going to happen is I'm going to talk to you like this. And then I'm going to meow. And then we're going to paint like this. And then I'm going to meow. And talk to you like this. And that's how it works here in the basement studio. Hey, Eve and Ella from Niagara Falls. That's awesome. Cool, cool, cool. All right. So, party, everybody. My name's Julie, and I'm really happy you made it today. Thank you for showing up. It's really great. It's a snow day here in Ontario, or the deep south of Ontario, and it's really odd. But, you know, everything's kind of odd lately, so let's just roll with it. And that's kind of what we have to do with painting anyways. Basically, like I was saying, you don't have to be a great painter to enjoy painting. And it's a really great lesson in just getting through a project. And let's not put a whole lot of pressure on ourselves. Let's just have fun. And that's what we're going to do. We're just going to have fun together and be together. And I'm really glad that we can be together. It's really great that we even have internet. So let's just a moment of gratitude for internet, everybody. Okay, cool. So a couple logistics. I get a lot of requests for people who want to tip or donate to me. I put a few links in the description of the video and in the first comment of the video if that's something that you'd want to do. There's a few different ways that you can send an offering if you prefer. If not, all good. And then I've also been hosting a lot of private parties. I have like 4 or 5 private parties coming up next week, which I'm so excited about. I just send you a Zoom link. You get to pick your own painting and all the friends you want to invite, and then we all get together privately on Zoom and paint a picture together. So that's also an option that you have now that we are quarantined together. And that's about it. And I just want to say thank you so much for showing up today, guys. I really appreciate you being here. And I just hope that you walk away with this and really, really want to paint some more with me. Or just in general. Just painting in general. Because it's the best. Painting is the best medicine in the world. So this painting is on a black canvas. Right? Oh, Jalen, you are not late. I'm still introducing, so it's all good. Kenzie and Kayla, and I'm so excited everybody's here still. And Emily, sorry if I missed you. So anyways, when we paint on black canvases, it shows up pretty good, but there's a really good chance that you're going to have to give each little item that we're putting on our canvas a second coat. So we'll probably be popping around our canvas a little bit. We're going to start with the rocket, and then we're going to squirt a whole bunch of stars on. And then by the time our rocket is dry, we can add a little red into it and so on and so forth. But we'll be just kind of cruising around our canvas and filling in little dots and having a good time. So you're going to put your dogs in the rocket. Rocket man, rocket dogs. Okay, so let's get this party started. Large oversized canvas, and the only reason I'm using this giant canvas is because it was already painted black, and I just like when things are easy, so I just went with it. It's probably a waste of space, but you know, it's all good. So just make sure that your canvas is painted black first, and we're gonna start with the rocket ship. Okay, now we're gonna do the whole rocket in white first. It's kind of like a primer, so we will make the space for our rocket, and then we can come back to it after it is dry. And I am going to paint my whole rocket with this brush here. It's a medium flat brush. It's a nylon brush. It's got a, flat top on it and seems to work pretty well. And I'm just going to be using white. So this is what my palette looks like. I have all my colors on here. And like I said before, anybody who's just tuning in, don't use all your paint on the palette. Just squirt a little bit of each. And if you run out, you can always add more because you want to preserve your paints while we're in quarantine. We don't know how long we're going to be in here for, okay? So I'm just adding some white to my paintbrush, just like this. Just beep, 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 beep. If you need to make sound effects at any time, please do. And then we're just going to decide where our rocket's going to go. So mine's going to go like here. And what I'm going to do is put my brush, so you can put it flat like this, or you can turn it on its side like this, and that's what I'm going to do. It's on its side, and I'm going to make one side go down like this, and then the other side is going to go all the way down like this. All right, just one step at a time. Take your time, and then this is where our little rocket launcher part's going to be. So one side goes down like that, and the other side goes down like that. And if you guys can see this, now we don't have any, your canvas should be dry. So if you need to use the canvas to anchor your hand just to make sure you're reaching the right spots, or I use my pinky finger a lot in these scenarios. So I put my pinky finger down so that I have more control over my hand. It kind of anchors my hand down. Because when we're trying to do something, it gets a little shaky when you're trying to fit things in like that. So I often use my pinky finger and then and then I make sound effects while I'm writing. While I'm not writing, painting it on. So that's that. And then there's a little rocket launcher wing kind of coming out this way. And another thing to keep in mind is when we're doing these things, it's always nice to start a little smaller. You can always make things a little bigger, but it's a little more hard to make them smaller. And we're going to be easy on ourselves, and we're not going to think like, oh my goodness, mine doesn't look like hers. Oh no. No, it's fine. It's fine. Everybody has their own way of doing things, and everybody has their own style. Everybody holds their brush differently. I'm even going to make the little fire that comes out of the bottom here. So I'm just going to, you can do this a few different ways. You can make it like actual little pieces of fire coming out, or you can just kind of drag your brush down, and we're going to prime up some rocket power. Rocket Man, burning all the views up there alone. And I think it's be a long, long time. Okay, and then I'm coloring the whole thing white. All that work for just coloring it in white. But now we kind of know where our little elements are going to go. And this is our primer. So I'm moving around the paint as good as I can. And this is the primer for my rocket ship. And then once it's dry, so I'm moving my paint around enough that it's not like really goopy on there. I'm trying to thin it out as much as possible. So if you have like little goops of paint, just make sure you pull them around and push. Pull and push is what happens here. Just so that it doesn't take too long for our rocket to dry before we go over top of it. Okay, so I'm just pushing all this paint around, making sure that it's filled in. All those little cracks are filled in there. And all good. And just remember, at any time, guys, you're more than welcome to ask questions. I just have my camera, or it's just my phone actually, on a stand, so I can always go, it's just on like a microphone stand, and so I can get in a little closer. If you need a little extra detail, just let me know, and it's all good. That's my main thing. It's all good, just for fun. Do. This is ground control to Major Tom. Okay. The rocket's on. The rocket's on. You know what? And this is one of those things. So you can see my rocket's on. And I'm going to decide to make his little wings just a little bit bigger. Because when I look at it, and that's one of those things, I didn't make them too big to start. So now that I look at it, now I can make them a little bigger if I want to. And if you didn't do that this time, all good. Just remember, it's a tip for next time we paint together. You can always make things bigger. You can make things smaller too. It's just harder. It's way easier to make things bigger than it is to make them smaller. There, and just screw it up a little bit. Okay, I want to give me some hearts and some thumbs ups if you guys are done putting your rocket on. And keep me in the loop if my feed is kind of not working. What? An angry face? What is that all about? Okay. All right. Hearts and thumbs. That's a little better. Sad? No, don't be sad. It's just a rocket. It's fine. It's fine. Okay. Thank you. Thanks for all the thumbs up, guys. Okay. So the next step is the fun step. We are going to be spraying some stars on. Okay. So what I want you to do is, so I gave that brush a rinse. I put it in my cup. I gave it a good rinse. I dried it off on my napkin. That's the setup I have here, right? So I have my cup of water, and I have a little napkin, and I have my palette and my brushes. So what we're going to do is we're going to use our big brush and we're going to put some white on it. And then we're going to take our little brush as it's our slapping stick. And this is the mode I'm using. I have my hands holding this stick here like this. And then I have my big brush here, and where I'm going to have some white paint on it. And I'm going to do one of these. So I'm hitting that stick and we're going to spray some paint on the canvas. Okay, you ready? Now, before we do that, I'm just going to add a little bit of water into my white. So I have my white paint here. I'm going to take my big brush and I'm just going to add a little bit of water in just to liquid it up a little bit. You don't need a whole lot of paint to do this. So you can see it's more of like a little washy paint. Now, I suggest, just like the rocket, start with a little. And then if it's not working well, add a little bit more, okay? You don't want to go crazy at first. This is a test mode, okay? So I have my paint on my stick. It's a brush, not a stick. I have my other brush here and just gently going to start slapping on some stars. And you can put as few or as many as you want, but it does backsplash, so get ready. And when you feel like if there's not enough paint coming off, just grab a little extra. And you might have to give it a pretty good tap. And I'm going to do that all around. How many stars do you want to see on your canvas? Get crazy. The stars are on. The stars are on. And you know what's fun too? I mean, you can do them pretty evenly around the canvas, but you know when you yeah, I'm using white, Deb. It is white. So when you look up at a beautiful northern sky and there's you can kind of see all the galaxies. I don't know if you've ever done that, but it's totally magical. And that's what you can kind of do on your canvas. So I like to get a good even coat of stars on there. But every once in a while, I'll start concentrating in one area. Oh, I'm getting sprayed in the face like crazy. So that there's extra stars in certain areas. Oh man, I'm just getting plastered here. Sorry, moms. I hope you were ready for this. How much paint do I got on my face? Not too bad. Okay. So that's what I like to do. Just in certain areas, I'll add some just extra concentrated stars. And make sure you go from all the different angles. You can use it like drums. All done that? Okay. We will rock you. Enough is enough. I'm picking up what you're putting down there, Brandon. All done. I have paint all over me. So, yep, just give me the thumbs up when you guys are done doing your stars there. Hopefully it worked out for you. And then once our stars are on there, we're going to start putting our planets on. Like I said, because we're using a black canvas, we're going to have to give our, we give our planets a couple little coats of paint. You might need to do it twice, but it really depends on the actual color. You're washing. Sorry, Deb. She's washing the floor as she's painting. Haha. Yeah, I'm gonna have to wash my face after this bad boy. Okay. So everybody's canvas is gonna be a different size. Mine is ginormous, so I have lots of room for all sorts of different planets on there. But so just make an assessment. You might have to put few less planets, or maybe just make your planets a little bit smaller so that they fit in the right spots. So I'm going to start with Earth, which is right at the top of my canvas here. And I'm going to use my medium flat brush, the one that it was our whack and stick here. And then I'm going to use the light blue paint. So I'm taking a scoop of blue, and I'm going to put on a half circle right at the top of my canvas here. And I'm coloring it in, and same as always. Start small, and then you can always make it bigger. And really fill it in. So we want to get rid of all of those little black little holes that you kind of see poking through your earth here. And I'm really filling it in. All right. This is where we can get a little bit more in tune with the painting itself. It's nice to get focused in and color in those little spots and make it look as nice as you can. So we're going to start there, and obviously our planets are going to have some more details in them and stuff, but we're just getting started with the base coats of our planets. Okay. Now that I have that done, this bottom planet that I'm going to put in this corner here, I'm just going to... So I'm putting another planet down here in the corner, and it's also a light blue. So I'm going to take another scoop of blue here and make the noise. So all of our blue planets are kind of popping off the canvas here. Now, this is optional. It depends if you have some dark blue paint or not. I said dark blue was optional because it really is. You don't have to have it, and it's such a little amount for this painting that it's very unnecessary. But we're going to put in a couple little streakies in this planet while we're coloring it. Okay, so I got a big scoop of blue. I got a big old scoop of blue, and I'm going back and forth. And then I'm going to take just a little bit of this dark blue here, and I'm going to scribble it at the top. So the paint's wet, so don't expect it to go on super dark or anything, but it's just nice to have a little bit of streakiness in our planet. Let me fill this in more down here. Okay, so I like to get some little extra streakies in there, so I put the light blue on there. Then I took a little scoop of dark blue, which is not necessary. And then I'm going to take a little scoop of teal. And then I'm going to scribble a little teal underneath here. Shoom, 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 shoom. Little chomp, chomp here and a little chomp, chomp there. And we have a pretty dynamic planet going on. But if you just want to take a little teal and do the whole thing, if you don't have any dark blue, or heck, grab some red and throw it in there. It's your world. Bob Ross said so, and he's the best, so I listen to the Bob. Okay, so I'm just gonna go back and forth a few more times. And basically, it's just one of those things, like, if you don't like it, you can always kind of cover it up. If you do like it, just leave it, and so on and so forth. Okay. What do we got here? Our block dog now has flecks of white on him. Sorry, puppy. Yeah, Nicole, no worries. I know the internet is not the best, especially today. Like, give me a break. Okay, so we put our blue planet up here. We put our blue planet. Is it a planet or a planet? Down here. And then I am giving my brush a rinse, and I'm going to go for my teal planet. Okay, so this is your painting, so just do as you will. And you know what? We're human, so we're not perfect. So let's just make as round of a circle as we can. We're not going to try and be superhuman and make these perfectly circular planets. It's all for fun, okay? So that's exactly what I'm going to do here. I'm going to put my teal planet just right over here. So as you can see, I go around one way and then I fix it up the other way. So then I'm just going to continue. I don't try and do it all in one fell swoop. I just kind of gently go around the edges of my planet. And I try and make the best circle that I can. And it's all good. So we're just going to do that for now. And then I'm going to rinse my brush. And then we have to decide where our red planet's going to be. Here, I'm just going to try and get this centered a little bit more. And the red planet's definitely going to need a few coats. So I'm just going to take a scoop of red and I'm going to pop it over here and make a nice big red planet over here. Make it whatever size you want or whatever size you can. So between my colors, I'm just giving my brush a quick rinse in my cup, and then I give it a little dabaruski on my napkin. There we go. Swish, swish, swish. And then I'm gonna make an orange planet. So I'm gonna grab a little bit orange here. And just remember, guys, I might be going a little fast for you, but that's okay because, you know, you can always rewatch the video if you can't keep up, but generally we're not being super strict on ourselves right now, so let's just do the best we can. I'm going to make my orange planet right here. Honestly, guys, making sound effects really, really helps. It helps me concentrate. That's the sound of the planets, I suppose. I don't really know what sounds are going to come out at any time, but that's what's happening right now. And then I'm going to make a little white planet up by a little earthy there. So every time I'm just giving it a rinse. Grabbing some white, and I'm going to make one last planet up here. Now, if you feel like you want to make more planets, oh my goodness, please go for it. I'm all about it. Just do whatever you want because it is your space world. If you want to add some alien action in there later, you know what a cool one is? You can add some shooting stars after. So many things you could put in space. So if you'd rather do that than put planets, you could also do that if you wanted to. Okay. This little mini planet's giving me some trouble here. I'm just gonna try and make it round. There. It's kind of round. All right. I'm in a very wonky position here. I'm like, cool. All right, so we have our base coats down. And what we're gonna do next is start adding in more detail into our rocket. I'm just gonna make sure that my paint is nice and big gob of paint over here. So I'm just gonna move that around right now. While everybody gives a catch up, let me know when your planets are done, everybody. And then we're going to start adding some red into our rocket. Now, anybody who's ever painted anything red, you will know that it takes like a whole bunch of coats of red to make it actually look red. So Just remember, it's probably not going to go on super red at first, but once we give it a few little coaties, be nice and red. Sapa! Bazaar! Rocket Man! Never alone. Okay. So let's get some red on this canvas. On our rocket. Now, if you have a smaller brush like this one that you would prefer to use, all right, Kalandra, I'm stoked that you're done. Done, but it's not dry. That's fine. We're letting it dry right now. So perfect. All good, Brandon. If you feel like you want to look like you need a little bit more of a detail brush for this, please feel free to use it. No problem. And I'm going to continue using my medium flat brush for the rocket. It just depends. At any time, if you are not feeling comfortable with the brush that you're using that is supposed to be like mine, there's no rules when it comes to that. Just use whatever you're the most comfortable with. Anything that you feel like you have more control with. Oh, Riley, sorry. Yay, Riley. I'm glad that you're done. And the planets won't be dry yet, but that's why we're going to try and get some. I think your rocket should be dry by now. Mine's totally dry. Perfect. Well, thank your dad for letting you use your computer. I'm glad you're here, Riley. Thank you. Okay, so I'm going to take some red, and like I said, it might take a couple coats of red to make this look really, really solid. But this is just the very tippy top of our rocket. So I put my brush straight on there, and I'm going to make a little dip for the top. So I'm cruising along, and then I'm going to fill in this little triangle-y spot here, a little cone shape. Okay. You know when I'm concentrating when I go quiet like that. And actually, you know what? I'm kind of happy with that red. It went on pretty good. And that's a really like solid show as to why it's so important to put a primer on first. Just like painting any room red, you're going to have a primer and then you're going to need to give it a couple coats. So now if you need to give it another coat later, no worries. It's 100% okay. All right. So the little top there is red, and then our wings are red. So I'm just going to make another little curvy here. And then I'm going to color in this whole wing red. You can make like spaceman noises. Pew, pew. Choo, choo, choo. Right? So we're just coloring it in. Now I can see that I still have a few little white spots here. So we're going to get as close. We want to cover up the white. But hey, if it's not working out and you have a little bit of white shining through still, oh, fine and dandy. All right? No pressure. We're just filling in these little areas. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. So my brush is straight on the canvas. I make a little curvy and then fill it in. And heck, even if you go outside of the lines a little bit, it's on the black, so you can barely see it anyways. Because red and black doesn't show up on black super duper well, as you can see by your planet over here. It's pretty much see-through, so. Score. Skizza score. All right. This is ground control. Okay, yeah, we're gonna do this bottom piece here too. So same deal. So we're just kind of like, we're going around the curves of our rocket and filling in the space. So our little bottom area here is going to all be red as well. All right. There we go. It's all coming together, don't you think? And you know what? I'm all about lazy painting. So whenever I have a color on my brush, so I have red on my brush right now, before I go and rinse my brush, I always kind of give my painting a once over, like, where else can I put red? Since I already have red on my brush, right? Well, we have a whole red planet over here that can get colored in again. Mine's pretty dry. If yours isn't, that's okay, but you can still probably grab a scoop of paint and give it another once over here. So I'm gonna take some extra red and just color in this red planet I got going on, and you can see already how much of a difference that second coat of paint makes. I hope you guys are having fun. Hope everybody's enjoying themselves. I've always been obsessed with space ever since I was little, so it's kind of cool to do these space paintings. And I really hope that you guys get creative. It's going to be really sweet. I can't wait to see what you guys come up with. The last time I did this party, the kids totally added all their own little elements in there. So I hope you do that too. Okay, and you know what? I still have red on my brush, so I'm just gonna maybe just give a little extra color in on my rocket. You know, we're already when in Rome. Just keep rolling with it. That's the saying, right? That's what you say. When in Rome, just roll on home. So I'm just giving another little mini once over on my red paint here. Now, if your paint's way too wet, then don't worry about it and just do it after. No worries. It's amazing how much of a difference that second coat of paint makes. And another little lesson. So when we're painting, sometimes when we have like a lot of paint on our canvas, you get these like little brush stroke marks if you make tiny little strokes. So I really try hard to make as long of a stroke as possible when I'm actually painting. So I'll take a little bit of paint and I'll try and get from one side of my object all the way to the other. And then you don't get any weird little brush stroke marks in your painting. I mean, even if you do, it's not a big deal at all, but it's just a little tip for you super serious painters out there. And it's all coming together. Look at the space sky. All right, working it, good. And I'm done with my red for now, so I'm giving my brush a rinse. And I'm just looking around my canvas and wondering what would be best now. Okay, so I'm gonna do orange next. Our planet needs some extra orange in it over here. And then we need to fire it up down here. Fire it up. Here we go. Here we go. Here I go. Here I go. I'm gonna clean my brush here. Yeah. And then I dabbed it on my napkin. Gave it a good rinsey. And I am going to grab my orange. Perfect. What does it say? Raina and Peyton are doing really well. Awesome, Jalen. That's awesome. I'm glad you guys are having fun, Deb. And your dog flew to heaven? Perfect. Oh, wait a second. I hope that's a good thing. All right. My dog is gonna, I don't know. He snores so loud, you always know where he is in the house. Because he's always sleeping. It's like a cat. Okay, so I'm just grabbing some orange and I'm gonna fill in the fieriness of at the bottom of my rocket here first. Just, we already put the white there. So I'm just filling in the gaps. I'm gonna go along this edge here. So try as hard as possible to not go inside the red, but if you do, don't worry about it. It's fine. Totally fine. And it's okay if you go outside the red too, or the white that we put there. So the fire's crazy. So if you need to make it a little crazy, just go for it. Check it out. I'm going outside the lines. I'm going rogue. All right. Just filling in the spaces. Fire! Fire! And then this is kind of a fun part. So I start with orange and it's still kind of wet. So I'm just gonna grab a little bit of red and I'm gonna swish it in there. I'm just gonna swish it right in. Swish, swish, swish. And what I want you to do is I want you to mix the colors together, but not so much that it turns into a brand new color. We want to see some of that orange and we want to see some of the red. So I'm just kind of taking a little bit of red and I'm scribbling it in my fire. And it's nice to have that contrast. So just taking a little bit of red at a time and I'm scrimping. Fire. Here we go. All right. Yay, I'm so glad you guys are having fun. Perfect. And you can see that I totally went outside the lines. I don't know if you can see that actually. I'm not sure if you can see. I'm gonna do a little close up. I didn't, I got some orange in my rocket. So what I'm gonna do, I gave my brush a rinse. You can always just kind of go back and fix it up. I'm just gonna make a little line there. And that's something that you do. Sometimes, it doesn't all happen the first time around and you need to give your painting a little extra loving. And heck, fire's super, crazy. So if you want to really goop on your fire and get it nice and textury, totally do that too. Sweet. There we go. Texture. I love all the texture. It's lovely. And then we have our orange planet here that needs another coat of paint. I'm going to do that. And we're starting to really cruise along here. So now that all of our planets, actually not all of them. So the orange is going to get another coat. I'm going to give the teal planet a little extra love in there. And the white planet. So just in mind. Now, I don't know, everybody's probably going to be using a little bit different paints. Mine are just regular acrylic paints. But you really just have to assess for yourself. If your planets is what I want to say. If your planets are looking good, just leave them alone. You don't have to make them, you don't have to do it 2 or 3 times like I did. Once is good, it's all good. So we did swishy swish, awesome fire goopiness in our rocket here. I gave my orange planet some more loving, gave my brush a rinse, and I'm just going to give my teal planet a little extra loving here too, because it's really awesome when your planets really pop off the canvas. When you guys put this up on your wall, it's going to be really vibrant and really cool to look at. So we want those colors to pop as much as they can. So what I'm going to do, I'm actually for my teal planet, I'm just going to take a little teal and I'm giving it a once over, as close as I can to the edge, but I don't want to make a new circle. So I'm just putting a little bit of paint in there, moving it around. And then what I'm going to do is just add a tiny little bit of detail. Oh, I'm sorry, Ashley. Well, you know what? We have to really, really, really be grateful for the time that we have with the people and the animals that we love. And hope that, you know, all of those memories that we make with them are embedded in our mind and in our hearts. And, you know, that's just how life rolls, unfortunately, sometimes. So I'm sending love to you and to your puppy. Okay? All right. So I got teal on there. I'm going to grab a little bit of white, and I'm actually just going to scribble in a little bit of white along the side here. So put in whatever kind of cool stuff you want in your planets. I'm taking little goops of white on my brush, and I'm just going to swoop it in there. Just give a little texture. This is a fun word to say. Texture. I'll say it in an Australian accent. We're going to give our planets a little texture. All right, so you can do this anyway. Just grab goops of paint, or even if you just use the little corner of your brush here, you can just kind of scribble it in. And obviously make sound effects. Now, I want to do a little something. Ooh, yeah, okay, let's work on the white planet first. And then there's so much jumping around that we can do. So I'm going to give my white planet a little extra love in here as well. So just filling it in, cruising around. And then for this planet's cool vibe, I'm actually just going to grab a tiny little bit of blue, and I'm just going to make a few little dots over on the side here. And who knows what that means? Maybe it's just a shadow. Maybe there's actual weird, I'm not sure if we can really attest. Maybe these guys are in a different galaxy or solar system or something. Okay. Even though the top planet is considered to be Earth. So I put a little white in there, grab a little blue, and we're just kind of making some little streaky marks. Filling it in. All right. Now, since the top planet's supposed to be Earth, what I'm going to do is actually use my teal or green, it's because it's pretty greeny, just to make a few little earthy spots in my Earth up here. So I'm not trying to be some perfect landscape of North America, but a general consensus is that it's big on the top, then it kind of tapers in the center, and then we got South America down here. Look at that detail. Look at that amazing detail. All right. And then I'm going to put one little piece of land up here, since the Earth is mostly water. Maybe this is Australia. I don't know. Maybe it's the bottom of Africa. Who knows? If you want to get technical with your continents on this, please feel free to do that. I would like you to beat me at that, please. A little more school-like. But, even with basic shapes, we get the gist. We get the gist that there's water and earth and land on that planet, whatever planet it is. Okay. So, we're getting close here, guys. The last step here. So, really take an assessment of your red planet again. If you need to give it a third coat, 100% okay. And actually, if you just want to put a little extra red on there. And then this planet's highlight color, I'm going to call it, is orange. So just like we did it to the other planet, a little orange on my brush, and I'm just going to swoop it in there. So I'm just doing a few little scribbles around the edge of the planet. And it's so fun to just be able to scribble and not really care. So just like scribble in a little orange. And just like all the other times, it's fun to have, you know, to mix the colors in some areas, but we also want to see the unique colors as well. So if there's a few areas where the red and orange turn into a new color, that's really, really cool. And then if there's some areas where the orange is really vibrant, that's really, really cool too. And hey man, it's your planet, so if you want to like polka dot your planet, do whatever you want to do. There is no rules in this schools, all right? And then since we're in there, I'm going to use red as this highlight planet too. For this planet, I'm just going to do a little scribble-a-boot here. And just a couple little scribblies around. Doo-be-be-doo. Ta-da! Okay, so we're really cruising along here. I hope everybody's keeping up. Now, the last step for our painting, and honestly, guys, like you can put as much detail into these planets as you want. If you want to add some extra colors, please, you know, like this is totally your world. You do not have to do the exact same colors as me. Not necessary. But take an assessment. If something else needs a little bit of loving, just do that. And the last step is that we are going to put a nice little window in our rocket. So use whatever brush you're comfortable with. Well, actually, this is the second last step. Okay, so what we're going to do first is I'm going to take some of that light blue right there, a little bit of light blue. And you can see I did not squirt a whole lot of paint on my palette, and I'm still going to be wasting a boatload of paint here. So next time that we paint together, just remember, we just need you really don't need a whole lot of paint to do these paintings, especially since we use the bulk of it in the background for the black. But here, let's make a little rocket window. So I'm just gonna, it's like an oval shape right in the center. And cruising along. Now, when you start layering paint on paint on paint, sometimes it becomes a little draggy. It becomes a little bit hard to maneuver, and it takes a little bit of extra effort to really fill in those little holes because it can get really dry along the edges. Sometimes just adding a tiny little bit of water to the end of your brush and then dabbing it in your paint first really, really helps fill in all those little dry spots. You don't want so much water on your paintbrush that it's gonna drip down your canvas and make you cry yourself to sleep at night. But I'm just kidding. Please don't do that. It's not that big of a deal. But a little bit of water on the end of your brush and then a little dip in your paint, and it fills in all those little dry spots around the edge of our window here, or whatever you're working on. Blah-da! Okay, so I said that was the last step, but I totally lied. The last step to this painting is just putting on a couple little highlights. So because our rocket's made of metal, metal, okay, we're gonna take our brush, so I gave it a good rinse, and we're just taking a little bit of white, and you can use whatever brush you want. Again, something smaller, if something smaller works for you, that's totally cool. And I'm gonna put on some little streaky highlights here. So I'm gonna put one here. I just put my brush straight down on the canvas and I try and pull down. So it's almost like a triangle shape. It's a little thicker at the top, and as I pull down, my brush gets a little thinner. Ta-da! And I'm gonna do that in a few random spots. So on the wings here, I'm just gonna push here, push, and I'm gonna follow the edge of my wing and drag down. I'm gonna do the same thing here, push, and I'm gonna, sometimes you can see there, it's not the same kind of curvature, so I pushed, but now I got to twist my brush a little bit so it's on its side. So it comes down in the shot there. Here, I'm gonna get a little closer. Come a little bit closer. Okay. So you can see, I put my brush on the canvas, I pushed, and I twist my brush to the side so that it comes down into a triangle shape. Okay? And then the last one I'm gonna do is just a little guy up here. Same thing, I'm gonna push at the top, and as I'm working my way down, I twist my brush a little bit so that it comes down into a point. And then I got a couple little highlights in my window as well. Little bubble highlights, shoop. So it's flat at the top, but since I'm kind of pulling down and it's on its side, it comes down to a point. And then I'm gonna do another little one here too. And voila. So at any point, if you need to, fill in these little areas here, if you really want to make your rocket really solid white, you can always give a once over on your rocket. If you want to add new little highlights to your planets, check it out. You can at any time just grab your brush and put a few little squiggle lines in different places. Whoa, almost lost my pilot. Ding, even in your earth. That's the fun part about painting. You just kind of you can add little scribbles anywhere you want. It still looks cool, right? And then, last but not least thing you gotta do is sign your painting. So this is probably gonna look backwards for you guys because obviously my phone is backwards. But you can put your initials. Initials are a really great way to claim that it's your painting because you just have to put 2 letters. So J, R. Sometimes I do a little bit of a fancier signature, but today, not so much. Okay, just let me know. I'm going to be on here for a couple more seconds here, guys. If you have any questions, please let me know right now. And I just really, really want to thank you so much for showing up today. This is so much fun to do this with you guys. I sincerely appreciate you getting through this whole painting. And just to recap, if you guys are looking to host any virtual parties, I've been doing virtual paint parties, but I do them through Zoom, so they're a lot more intimate and we can all see each other and chat with each other, which is really great. This is a little different because I can't actually see you guys or hear you. I'm just talking to myself in my studio in the basement, which is super great. So if you feel like you want to have a party with just your friends, let's do it. And like I said before too, if you feel like you want to tip me or donate, there's a few links in the description of the video, and there's also in the first comment of this painting. And please, guys, please make sure you send me your pictures, okay? Honestly, I've been getting so many pictures of people's paintings, and it makes my heart want to explode through my face, right? So make me happy and send me your pictures, please. Oh, thanks. Yeah, so good. Ashley, I'm going to see what I can do with the dog painting. It just depends on how much time I have because I don't really have any dog paintings. Oh, good, Sean. I'm so glad. Thanks, Ella. Thanks, Jackie. I'm glad you guys showed up. Awesome. I'm stoked. Yep. Super virtual hugs to everybody. I miss hugs. I'm totally a hugger. Thanks, Trisha and Calandra, Francis. Good, Deb. I'm glad you had fun. Monkey painting. Noted. That would be fun. Monkey. I did make a panda corn once. Maybe I'll do that fun. That's kind of fun. It's like a panda unicorn. Cool. I'm glad we got to kill a little bit of time together today, guys. Really appreciate you showing up. And yeah, to the next. So the next adult virtual party will be next week. I think I'm planning on doing it on Wednesday. So keep your eyes out. I'm just kind of rolling with it right now and figuring out when I have time slots so that we can do this together. Yay! Yay, Lily. I'm so glad you had so much fun. You're welcome, guys. Thanks, Michaela and Nick. Nicholas, I should say the whole word. Sorry about that. Thanks, Courtney. Yay. Thanks, even Ella. I'm glad you guys had a good time. Ooh, a pugacorn. I like that. Sweet. Beach sunset painting. We can definitely do a beach sunset painting. Ariana and Alexia. See you guys. Thank you so much. We bought canvases and paint, but are in Texas. So got the time. That's okay. As soon as we're done this video, I am going to press finish and I'm going to upload it to my videos so you'll be able to watch it again. No worries. Heidi, I do have an owl painting already in my videos section. So make sure you, I'm just saving all of these free videos for everybody. So all good. You can go and check out what paintings we've done so far and watch the recording of it. And there's totally an owl painting in there, so you can do that. Yay, A+. I know. This is a way funner way to spend doing school than actual schoolwork, but okay. Thanks, Delaney. Love you guys. Stay safe, stay healthy, and stay home. And we'll paint together again next week. And just keep your eyes posted. And the best medicine is making sure that you're just having a good time. Continue to paint, continue practicing, and you will get better and better at what you're doing. And then keep showing up is awesome. And also just show some love, and sharing this with other people is super helpful for me. And I really appreciate that. And you can also sign up for my newsletter if you go to my website, juliespaintparty.com. There's a little spot at the top where it says sign up for email. And I send out like one newsletter a month that kind of gives everybody a heads up on what's going on. Yay. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Beth and Lori and Jessica. Bye-bye. Okay. Have a great day, guys. Love you so much. Mwah.